Hello, welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. So I've been having some issues with recording. Well, I can record the video, but then when I go back and look for it, it's gone. And I've been having some issues with like just being able to download videos from my camera. So I don't know. I'm thinking it might be the internet because the internet is really slow here, and I did try to upgrade. And it's kind of strange because there really isn't a number you can call. So anyway, I am recording or documenting or talking about dreams. Now I know this isn't really a popular subject, like at all, but I think that when I'm, dead and gone, people are going to find this on YouTube and I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic, at least for me. It's kind of rare to find somebody that has had dreams for 13 years documenting. Now there is somebody else on the internet who has documented his dreams, and I won't say his name, but his dreams are a lot more vivid. And he's a better writer too, by the way. But he doesn't do videos. So anyway, so the dream is sign, everywhere sign. I called and asked for a prayer on guidance, my next place to live. So today I heard on the radio, Florida in July, Pinellas County, a county that never visited or lived, not a dream. Okay, so, I always kind of scratch and I was like, okay, God, I want a place, find me a place, right? So, before coming here, I wanted to go to Florida because I just was craving a beach. After being in the Midwest, I just wanted water. I wanted the ocean, right? But it's 2023 and it's hotter than hell everywhere. And it's just too hot to go in those warmer climates right now. And this is before I moved here. So 2 places came up. Okay, well, more than 2. But at the same time, one came up, but they couldn't get their shit together, okay? And I was very disappointed with that because that's where I wanted to go. But my name came up on another list there, and they had reviews, and every single review was negative. Like, if your name comes up, just pass it on by, So it's really bad there. So I just don't think they're very organized. And so that was quite disappointing. Okay, and so I ended up a place, and I thought, I would never move to a place that I've never been to, at least the state, and I did. So I don't know if I would have done it if I would have known things now, because they are very, they kind of violate your rights here. Like they do they're very manipulative, they do whatever they want. And that isn't true for everybody, but I just think that they're not fair from what I've seen so far, and I've only been here a couple of months. And so, anyway, like I heard when I got here, I heard a city in Miami, then I heard Miami, there's it, whoops. And then there was another city, Hawaii, which I've never been to Hawaii. So I don't know if these are trips or whatever, I don't know. So again, same girl in Ignore. She is supposed to buy a ticket a day ahead to secure her ticket. Okay. So some like Greyhound or Amtrak tickets, you have to kind of get them at least a couple of days in advance. They're also sold out. Certain destinations, mail friend. So now it seems to be a certain area, and thought about contacting a male friend in the area. I'm not for sure. Location and dream. Also same dream of a single bed in around from the same older woman. Yeah, it's his this friend or whatever's birthday this month. So I was going to surprise him and send him some Garcia stuff. But we're not in contact, and we have a pattern of, it's like all or nothing. Okay, and I don't really want to go into whatever, but since in our 20s, I think in my 20s, we're just kind of, we talk and then we don't. We talk and then one of us gets mad at each other and vice versa. And it's so old. And it's so like whenever we, are hanging out or it's on the internet, it's very intense. Like he like emails me and whatever every day. And it's very, and it can be quite much. And then we get sick of each other. But last time he did something that was very whatever. So it's always the same. So I don't really think so. I mean, there's friends in my life that I'm not, I used to say, oh, I've known this friend for so, this long and whatever. But it's not like that anymore. There's been friends that I haven't been in contact with a long time because they, some friends, whatever, I just kind of grow apart, and then some friends, they just, they're not friends anymore. Colors. This dream was a little strange. There was some guy, and he was surrounded by several different colors, approximately 5. So I'm not for sure what this is about. He had some colors around him. Sometimes these dreams don't make sense. NOL. Last night I had a dream of possibly Louisiana, like I should check out places to live out there. I never been to Louisiana in real life, but have wanted to go since Mardi Gras ever since I saw Easy Rider. Anyway, a guy was looking at a galaxy-like thing in front of him. However, it looked like a light blue amoeba, and instead of a galaxy, I don't know, maybe something from many years ago. Okay, so I don't know if this was Louisiana in the dream. I could just be hoping. I've never been to Louisiana. And when I first saw Easy Rider, I wanted to go to Mardi Gras. And that was in my 20s, but I kind of grew out of that. I mean, I don't party. I mean, I did the college thing when I was in college, but, I don't drink. I'll drink, for New Year's, maybe that's kind of about it. So, I would just kind of go. I mean, I think it's a huge party thing, of course, but it would be kind of cool to see the parades and stuff. But now it isn't really. There's some places that I've wanted to go when I was younger that have kind of, I could care less, or I don't, they're not really high priority anymore. So anyway, and I don't know what this blue galaxy amoeba thing, it could be something medically, but I don't know why it would be blue. I don't know. A young white girl says my mom's first and middle name. And this is strange in that, I never had a dream like that in which, someone said that, my mom's first and middle name, and my mom's been deceased, so how could anybody have that information? Well, they could, I suppose, if they looked me up, but, she's been deceased, and I don't know, I just think it's strange. Now, I did find some information about me on the dark web, which I was informed about, but I don't know. No snow. While riding in the passenger seat of a car, not for sure whose car in dream, I saw a woman walking, and they saw me and was happy to see me. Oh, she was happy, but I wasn't happy to see her a month. So I think that what was going on is, at the time, this is March of 2023, I could not find a place to stay, and I was kind of stuck at a relative's. But he was like the only person that would help me, and it was difficult for both of us, mainly me, well, mostly me. But, he's the kind of person that really, he should have he needs his own space. I need my own space, but, he shouldn't really have people there, because he just, he's set in his ways, and he needs his own space. He's a hard worker, so he really, some people can do well with having other people around, but, he needs his own space, and that's the end of that. So in this dream, I think, so what was going to happen is I think that they were going to say, well, do you know of any other place or relative you can go stay with? You know, and so that's, I think, what's going to go on. But this dream was about a woman, and I saw her walking, and she walked like professionally, or not professionally, but just, for exercise. And so it seemed like this woman knew that I liked walking, so she was happy to see me. So I think she was hoping to get like a walking partner, walk. But after this, in real life, I had yet another foot injury, and so yeah, and this woman kind of reminded me of a woman who gave me a ride through the public transportation. It was all bubbly and stuff like that. But it didn't look like her. But anyway, spread out city. I had a dream of being in the Pacific Northwest. However, the city is very spread out and doesn't like this particular city. The people that encounter are young Caucasian people, most likely students. Yeah, so I've had a dream about this before, in which it's a spread out city, and most of the people there or that I encounter are students. But I'm thinking it's the Pacific Northwest, but I don't see any skyscrapers. So that's what's kind of tricky about it. Where to sleep? I was possibly in Twin Cities. Not sure. Area does not look familiar, but people seem sketchy and homeless. It seems that just got back from somewhere and questioning where was going to sleep that night. My friend's place or my relatives. Also, there's a guy with something dark hairstyle at his desk. Okay, so I think that I went somewhere and then I came back. I took like a mini trip in the dream, and I don't know, it doesn't really say where I went to, but sometimes, and I didn't really like doing this, but sometimes I would have to stay at my friend's and his girlfriend's place, because whatever time I got in, I would with my relative, it would have to be a specific time in a certain place, and sometimes I couldn't really make that. Sometimes at short notice or whatever, he would have things to do and whatever. So anyway, so that's what was going on. And like I said, I didn't really go anywhere in real life. So God guiding my steps. I was thinking really gentle. I was talking really gentle to a woman regarding my situation about an appeal in real life. This is the first time that I had a dream the night before almost guiding me on how to handle the situation. I hope. My older brother and some guy were in this dream as well. At the end of the dream, my tablet broke out, said it crashed in the drain. So I don't really know how God was guiding me. But I just know that it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of what you should do next, and I don't really have that too much in dreams. I usually have dreams that, say kind of what's going on, or this could happen, or this is what, you know what I mean? Okay, friend urinating in his apartment. My friend was standing up in his front room and was urinating all over the place. It was much... I thought it was a garden hose doing the urinating. Okay, so what was going on is my friend was standing up and using his garden hose to pee. That's what he had, okay. And I told my friend's girlfriend about it, like later, and she was like, well, they put a catheter in him, which I didn't know. Because he's like diabetic, and his blood sugar goes, and he has to go to the hospital. That's how bad it gets. So that's kind of what's going on, and that happened in real life. What I just told you. The state. Okay. We're in March 2023. I was waiting for either a bus or a train inside this transportation building, mainly for trains. I was asleep on a bunch and not paying attention to the time, and tried to catch my bus, which left at 1:30 p.m. This Mexican guy tried to drive me to the place to catch my bus, but I seemed to just miss it, not sure. It didn't seem to bother me, that missed bus, and just slept at the train station. I remember wondering if the train station was open all night. The next morning, I approved the counter to get my bus tickets. No, to get my bus ticket fixed. I was trying to get to State Street, and was a couple of stops short. The scenery seemed to change around this time and looked a little familiar, but not for sure if ever been to this destination. I didn't even have my hotel reservation and was walking down the street. No scenery, just walking, I don't know, something down, building. I received something named of towns. I recall a woman naming towns, places that may have, I don't know, in the dream. I was sitting in a circle, and I had papers underneath my chair and had been attending a housing appointment, not sure. I recall a young woman worked there that did not like me, and not for sure why. I always get this, or not always, but sometimes there's always somebody who doesn't like me. I think that's the curse. I meant because I think there's a lot of people that kind of don't like me. Not a lot, but I think that I'm not real popular. I've never had favor, really, is what I mean. So the state, I remember when I was researching, I was looking for places or whatever to move, and there was one street that was called the State, but I couldn't be the state, like one of the states that I was having issues, like the actual states of America. So yeah, I was at an Amtrak station, and I was just sitting there on a bench. And I wasn't paying attention at the time, and I've seen that a couple of times, and that's true, because there were some things that were due in 30 days, and where I'm from, it's 60. And it doesn't say that, because I looked. So the the train left at 1:30. Okay, so what happened was, I think that when I got to the destination that I was going to, a Mexican guy with a shuttle picked me up. Public transportation or not, but he picked me up. So it seemed that the bus that I was going to take, or train, I missed it. And so I changed it in the morning. And or had to fix it in the morning, which is unusual because I'm usually there like 5 hours before the train leaves. So that's kind of unusual. So I just slept at the train station. And it could be like that, there was something wrong. I had to change something or whatever. But, if I can sleep at the train station or sleep at the bus, then instead of a hotel, then I walk, because hotels are so expensive, and I usually, for the most part, if it comes to flights, I catch the earliest flight because I want to get going. And so then, most of the airports will let you stay there, okay? But I just I prefer to do it that way, just because, partially not having to pay for a hotel, but the other part of it is I want to get going. Okay, I want to be there, and by the time I get there, it's usually pretty close to be able to check into a hotel. So something I've seen this before, in which a couple, I'm short something. I don't know what, but I've seen that more than a couple times. I didn't even have a hotel reservation, which is unusual, but I can see that happening now. The reason being is that there's some SOB who got a hold of my information. So like when I would make a reservation through a hotel, the SOB, I would get like 2 emails, one that was of mine and then another one that had a different fucking credit card, so I had to cancel everything. I even had to like change my card or get a new one. So that is probably why, is because someone's following me. So then I was at this place, and I don't think it was for housing. It was probably for medical or whatever, and I had all these papers that I had to bring with me. I don't know why I didn't have them in a folder, but they were like underneath the seat, underneath the chair. Oh, and the woman didn't like me. Well, you know, I like I said, there's always someone who's, you know, whatever. You know, F you. I'm not, you know, effing the BITCH. Just do your job and keep your fucking personal issues out of my goddamn situation. Okay, well, I just think it's stupid. You know, I mean, sometimes I think people have not given me places because they don't like me. And it's like, you need to get your, you know, your emotions or I don't like you crap out of the thing. I mean, I can understand if I did something seriously wrong, but, or whatever, but, you know, it's, you gotta keep that stuff separate, you know, I believe, because that's not really fair, because people can find all kinds of reasons not to like you, just to not let you in. Young doctors, I was sitting in a doctor's office, okay, so we're in March. Why didn't you say anything? I was going in one direction to see an aunt, then a great aunt in the opposite direction mentioned about seeing me. I was thinking, why didn't you say anything? So that kind of happened. I had one place contact me, and then I heard from another place. And usually when this happens, I tell myself one is from God or one is from the devil, which may not be an accurate thing, and I usually end up not going to either one. But this one, the one that I really wanted to get into, I did not. And that's the one where I had a dream sitting in front of an African-American woman. And I didn't end up here. So when I got here, I knew I was in the wrong place because I saw what somebody looked like, and I go, she's not from my dream. And that seems to happen. I don't know. I've recorded a couple of these things, so I don't remember exactly what I've said because I've had to, whatever. But I have noticed that, like when I was in the Southwest, I had 2 dreams, one of flying somewhere 1 month and then flying again. And I was supposed to get in Utah, and that never came to pass. There's always somebody who screws it up, and no, I don't blame me for it. Most of the time, it's, you know, they make excuses for not helping you or getting you in. And sometimes it's just, you know, it's not right and not fair. I would not do that if I worked in, like if I was a renter, I would, you know, the lady agreed that I could, whatever, I was going to move in at a certain time, and then that woman left, and then this other woman said, no, they wanted me there within 5 days with all this money, and they didn't want to wait. I said, well, how about half of it? No. You know, it's just, they're not fair. And, you know, I needed to get a social worker a long time ago, because this is a perpetual, it keeps happening, and they think they can do whatever they want. Now, if I had a social worker, most of this stuff wouldn't happen, I don't think, because they think they can get away with shit. And it wasn't always like that. Years ago, they had, and you know, a lot of these housing and medical places had integrity, and they, you know, a lot of them, some of them don't. Yeah. Okay, well, that's going to be it, because it's kind of getting dark here. What time is it? I don't know. Well, it rained. I like it when it rains here, because I went out today and it's humid. It's like July humid, and I'm not in Florida, okay? It's very humid here. So I like it when it rains. It's nice and cool. I have my windows open all the time. I like my place, by the way. That's kind of the only thing I really like about being here. I have my place, and I like it. Okay, so thank you. We finished. We went to whatever, March 23rd. 2023.